Hey, today we got a transmission out of my 2004 Tundra sitting over here in the background. It's got a V6 3.4 liter in it with the manual gearbox. This I believe is an R150F transmission. Now this was doing something that's pretty common. When you let go of the clutch, say you're sitting in the drive-thru, let go of the clutch and it's in neutral, you hear a whining noise come from the transmission. Slight whining noise, but it was getting worse over time. So, people were telling me, oh, it's your throwout bearing. Well, no, it's not. I mean, the throwout bearing's a little noisy, but the throwout bearing's not going to cause that noise. That'll typically get noisier when you push the clutch in. So I wanted to show you real quick the inside of this transmission so we can decipher a few of the bearings that might be causing that noise. I went ahead and got a bearing kit, and I have already replaced a couple, but the culprit, I think, was the front main input shaft bearing, and also a bearing underneath here that I'll show you here in a second. Here's the old input shaft bearing. I took the seals off of it and cleaned it out so we could hear it a little better. And you can hear it is a little noisy, and if you look, it's a little pitted on the inner race. So, I mean, these bearings are noisy typically, but I mean, if you don't have lubrication, I mean, this front bearing before, when I spun it with the lubrication, and it sounded quiet as can be. Anyway, so looking at the transmission, it's in neutral right now. We'll go ahead and lock the rear shaft real lightly here. Only a little bit of pressure on there. And so with it in neutral, the bearings that could be making the noise are your front main bearing on the main shaft or output shaft. On the counter shaft could be the front counter shaft bearing, could be the rear counter shaft bearing. Let's see, any other one spinning. Obviously it could be one of the bearings in the center here, but they're not typical to make noise. It could not be your output shaft bearing. And I'll go ahead and show you real quick the inside. I already got this kind of a lot of the way apart right now because I've been messing with it. So I'll show you the other bearing that I think it probably was. Okay. We got this front cover here. Gotta get that off. I mean, rear cover, bearing cover, whatever you want to call it. You also have a big bearing back here on the back side here. It could not be that bearing because that only spins when you're driving. So let's go ahead and take our counter shaft out here. So this is your rear counter shaft bearing right here. That could be making the noise. When you get these things apart, it can be a little tricky to actually find. You have this noise and then you don't really know exactly where it's coming from. So I just got a whole bearing kit and I'm replacing all the bearings while I have it apart. But this, like I said, I think it was the front main bearing causing my noise. But if you take this off here, there is a needle roller bearing in here. You can see this one, and this was making a little bit of noise. Luckily, the shaft looks like it's still in good shape. I put a new one on there, quiet as can be now, and so I think that was what was making the noise. But we'll get this thing back together, and I'll let you know how I make out. If you guys got any other questions about it, I mean, I'm not a pro with these transmissions, but it doesn't take too much to do. You definitely need one of these though, an H-frame press, if you're going to be pressing gears and putting these new bearings on. And that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching, guys.